welcome back to another video episode from the Veg Grower Podcast. A few things to go over this week. Obviously some of you may actually already notice, looking out along here, things are looking a bit different compared to last week. Not massively. I've moved all the Bedfordshire Championship onions. They were sown in end of December. They're now in the greenhouse. I'll show you those a bit later. They're all doing okay. The ones I put out there last week, absolutely fine, so the rest have gone. Towards the back here I've been potted on some of the kale, and they'll probably be going out there pretty soon as well. So somewhere I've got a cup of coffee as well. Okay, so I'm going to put up my first clip now. I'm just going to take you down the allotment for the first bit after Storm Doris the other day, and show you how it's looking down there after that. So I'll pull that up now, and then I'll come back and see you again. Well, good morning everyone. It's first time been down the plot since Storm Doris, and yeah, so far as you can see everything looks pretty good. This has appeared on my plot somewhere, so I've left that to the side for somebody to claim. We'll just have a quick walk around and see what happens. Some of the peas I had just sort of here, they've been killed off with the winds and what have you, which I'm not too worried about. Bit of a shame, but they were what happens really. As you can see, the netting I set up last week has got blown over, but it's still here, so I'm not too worried about that. I can easily pull that back into place, which I'll do in a second. Everything else on both sides is as it was, so I'm quite lucky actually. I mean, I don't know if you can see over the back there, there's a shed that's fallen over there, and the fencing round that person's plot has fallen over, but otherwise not bad at all. Pretty happy. Yeah, so no damage at all really. A few things blown over, but not really on my side. I'm not too worried about the peas, so I'll worry about that later on another day. Last week I mentioned about doing an avocado pip, the same as what I've done with the sweet potatoes, but I forgot to show you it last week, and I thought I'd bring it along here. And this is what I've done basically. Same as the sweet potatoes, that's an avocado pip just there, sitting inside the top half of a bottle, then sit in the water. This lives in the kitchen most of the time, and I try and change the water out every day. How long it will take to do, I don't know, but that's just something else I'm experimenting with, shall we say. I've also started actually when I watered these the other day, I did some liquid seaweed extract to give them a boost. So things are looking pretty good. Talking of feeding, I've given the allotment a bit of a feed on the soil down there. Got a clip of that now, just me doing that. And while that's up, I'm going to pot on a few seeds. I've got some pepper, picante. It was sown a month ago now, so they're ready to go. Some lettuces. I've got some broccoli and some more onions. I'm going to pop those on now anyway, and they're going to be potted on into these little pots that I'm using up now. Ran out of the other ones, so I'm quite glad, because it means I'm getting things used up. Anyway, let's show you this what I've been feeding down the allotment, and come back again and I'll see you then. Okay, I've decided it's time to give quite a few of the beds a bit of a feeding. So I've got these two juice containers here. This one's got some grow more, and this one's got some blood, fish and bone. I've already done the chicken manure pellets, so I'm just going to walk around now and scatter these about. Try and give them a bit of a decent feeding. I tend to use these juice containers just to keep them dry, and it works for me anyway. Give these a bit of a feeding, or it might be. I'm not going to go overly heavy with a feed today. Just want to give it a bit of a little bit of a boost. And we'll give it some more throughout the year. Rhubarb is looking really good at the moment. So is this globe artichoke. I know somebody's commented on it. Oh, everything is going to need a good weed as well. Yeah, weeds are really growing at the moment, so it'll be time to really crack on and get the weeds done soon. Right, let's get some of the bloodfish and bone. Shallots, especially as they're starting to show signs of life. Garlic is looking extremely healthy and good. Right, I'm going to carry on and do that. Just want to show you actually, continuing on from last week, I've finished building that bed. Got that last piece, I've put some cardboard in there. I'm wetting the cardboard down. All I've got to do now is get the horse manure and compost and start filling it. It's a bit wet, miserable, windy today, so I'm a bit not doing it today anyway. So yeah, okay, so that's about it from the allotment for this week. So I'll see you back in the potting shed. Oh, well, welcome back everyone. That's basically the what I fed down the allotment using chicken manure, pellets, bloodfish and bone, grow more, just scattered it around slightly. Yeah, nothing more to really say on that. As you saw at the end of that clip, I've finished building the bed that I showed you me building last week. I've still got to fill it with compost and manure, but it's built. That's the main thing. But I did have a comment on that, and it was a pretty valid comment about using a spirit level, because obviously it's uneven. I do that for a reason, believe it or not. I because I use pallets to make it, and not all the pallets are the same width, I just felt that if I spent all that time making them all perfectly level, where they were out the line, the basically because of width of pallets, where they were all different, would have just annoyed the hell out of me. So I didn't bother doing a spirit level. I just done it how I by eye, if you like. That works for me. I like it like that anyway, personally. Everybody else might have different feelings on that, but that's my personal preference. But it was a valid point by the commenter. I can't remember who it was now. I normally try and remember who it was, but it was a very valid point, so thank you very much for that. Anyway, right, I've got one last clip to show you, just in the greenhouse, and while I do that, I'm going to sow some more seeds. I'm only sowing 2 types of seeds this week. I've got some more chili pepper, demon red. Sown these last year and they were great. Really liked them. And then I'm going to sow some of these cucumber, Chinese slaggin. Just so it'd be interesting to see how they do. Yeah, I'm in the market moors actually. I sown a couple of weeks ago. Let's bring them over. They're like that at the moment, so they're going to be potted on soon. So yeah, things are definitely getting here. So let me put this last clip of what's going on in the greenhouse quickly. Just a couple of things to show you there, and then I'll come back and close off. Okay, so you join me in the greenhouse now. Now these are the onions I put out here about a week ago, just to see how they cope in the greenhouse, as it's a bit cooler than the pond shed. So far, so good. So I've moved all the rest, all of these Bedfordshire Champion onions, sown in December. They're all out here. Hopefully they'll grow on. I mean, it's the end of February now. They'll grow on in here before going into the cold frame and then into the ground down the allotment, which I'll be pleased about. Also, just want to show you the leek seedlings. They're really growing on now, so looking pretty good. I've given them a bit of a water today, so that's why it's a bit wet. So far so good. Something else I just want to show you. You see that there? That's the first potato shoot. In fact, I can see another one just over here as well. Let's see if I can get that. I planted those out, what, 2 weeks ago? They're just starting to show through now. These are the home guard variety, one of my favourite. So pleased about that as well. Well, that's got those seeds sown now, and they're going to go into the propagator. Well, hopefully they'll germinate and carry on their process. Okay, so this is the last video in February. In fact, today is the 28th of February, the last day of February, so tomorrow is March, and that's when seeds really start kicking off. As you can see, with the amount of weeds down the allotment, they're starting to really get old now, so it'll be really time to crack on and get everything sown and going, which would be great. Okay, so as I said, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget, if you like this video, give us a like and subscribe. Welcome and thank you very much to all my new subscribers. Really do appreciate every single one of you. I think last time I looked, I was up to 86 subscribers, which I'm totally amazed at. Yeah, completely flummoxed. I love it. And anybody that leaves me any comments, I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Again, I really love hearing from everyone that's watching this. Really do appreciate taking the time to watch my videos and comment and everything. So thank you very much for that. So I'll see you again next week, and thanks again.